Hey everybody, Newleaf here, live from Equestria, and today I'm going to teach you how to make popcorn that will blow your mind with flavors that you can create with just a few ingredients to make your next movie night the best night ever. So let's begin our amazing popcorn recipe. With our ingredients, on the left side we have some chocolate frosting for cakes. Then moving along to the top, we have some salted cinnamon in the metal container. We have tomato spice, we have curry, we have oregano, and we have condensed milk in the blue container. And of course, the star of the show, popcorn. Now, you can take any kind of popcorn, but we're gonna pick the ones that we have at the store. Unfortunately, I'm from a country where salty popcorn is rare, so we have to go with the sweet one, but we will balance that out with a lot of spices. So first steps first, ponies. We are going to pour our cinnamon and salted thing from the metal container into a little bit of a saucepan, and that's going to start our caramel. But because this time I realized that we're not making cocoa, I realized we needed a little bit more sugar, and so that's what I added here. And together with our condensed milk container, we're gonna get a little bit of a caramel going, looking like this. Look as it swirls around, ponies. That is what we want to do, and once it begins bubbling like it does here, you're just gonna let it sit there. Don't stir it too much. That's the trick of a caramel. If you start messing too much with the caramel, it's gonna get too crumbly and it's gonna destabilize. You wanna have a smooth caramel that also develops a couple of crumbs, a bunch of crunchy bits too. So you wanna be patient with your caramel until it develops, and once it starts bubbling, that's when we move on to the next step, and that is, of course, our popcorn. We're going to introduce that into the microwave. We're going to let that sit there and just apply the directions. It might tell you 3 minutes, 2 minutes, depending on your microwave. You're going to start setting this. And while this is happening, we're going to take the chocolate cake glaze and put that into a warm water bath that allows that to melt. And by the time that popcorn is done, the glaze should also be melted. But ponies, it's important that the water is warm before you put it in there. That's probably should have been like the first step, ponies, but now you know. Meanwhile, this wonderful caramel is still bubbling like a little bit of churning lava, and that's telling us that we're in a very good spot. And once your kitchen starts to sound like there is rats in it, that means you're ready to go on to the next step, and that is to assemble your working station. And I made it look like this. You see, you have two bowls. One of them is gonna be for the more messy things like the cinnamon and the chocolate, and then we're gonna have one for the dry elements. And at the end, we're gonna put it all into the big bowl and assemble our wonderful bowl of popcorn. So it begins by putting our normal popcorn into the big bowl, and we're gonna take some of them and then go and put them into our caramel. Look at the bath that they're taking. That is one delicious caramel that we're gonna coat our popcorn in, and once it's done, gonna look a little something like this. We have a few more popcorn coming in a moment. And then we're just gonna grab the next batch of normal popcorn, and they get the chocolate treatment. Of course, they're getting a little more chocolate as well. This is just to show you, ponies, the process. I added a couple more things as I went. And then here's the next part of popcorn. I like to call this the fry popcorn because we used frying salt to make these, so they get a little bit spicy, but also kind of salty, which is very interesting, and of course is supposed to counter the sweetness from the caramel and the chocolate. Then next we have curry popcorn that we see here. This is gonna add a little bit of spiciness to the whole mixture. Very, very unique. And finally, we have what I like to call pizza popcorn. That's gonna get Italians angry. But we have tomatoes and oregano as a spice, and you put that onto the popcorn looking like this, and that's gonna give it a very fruity taste. And with that, we have created 5 different kinds of popcorn. Also, my kitchen now looks like an absolute mess, but I have to clean this out. But this is what it is like once you've done all of it, and it is time to assemble all the 5 different kinds of popcorn into the same bowl. And now all that's left to do is give this a wonderful deserving taste test. And just shows you, ponies, how easy it is to make delicious food from the comfort of your own home with simple ingredients. And there we go. Look at this. We have so many wonderful flavors. We have look at that. Look at how crusty that caramel popcorn is becoming. Then we have some of the chocolate peeking out over there. I think we have a little bit of tomato and special salt over in that corner, and then I think we have some of the curry just out here. Oh boy. You see, watching a movie is fun, but watching a movie with this is a flex, people. Right, let's try it and taste test this, but I have some expectations because this is unicorn popcorn. This is about to be. Oh yeah. Oh, I got a lot of salt, but also a little bit of the cinnamon. That is perfect. And chocolatey too. The flavors added up to each other so well. Let's go take a peek out of this corner. I should have probably mixed these a little bit better, but we can just manually mix them. I guess that's kind of the beauty of popcorn. Oh yeah. That one had a lot of tomato flavor. I like how you're able to just discover the flavors of this bowl as you go. I think this is a resonating success without any question. We have done Misty proud without any question as well. I guess, bonus, all that's left to do now is me watching some of this with this bowl. And I think that's going to be a good time.